everybody, welcome to vlog number 15 with the Turtle and the Tiger. We're happy to be here in New Mexico at a house sit.
Not.
More on that later. We left off last time leaving Waco Tanks State Park near El Paso, Texas, which was our last state park. Left there on
Monday morning, heading towards New Mexico for our first New Mexico State Park.
In Alamogordo. The state park is called Oliver Lee State Park. Oliver Lee Memorial State Park in Alamogordo. Didn't have a reservation.
Nope, no reservation. It's Monday, a holiday. We figured we'd just wing it and hope they might have a spot for us.
Remember what time of the day we showed up? Was it kind of like late afternoon, early afternoon maybe? And we went
probably
into
early afternoon. We probably got there by 1 o'clock,
yeah,
I think.
I think we went into Alamogordo and got some groceries though, didn't we?
Yeah, I
And
think.
then backtracked
yes.
to...
Yes, we figured we'd do that first because we needed a few things.
Did we go to the Space Museum first, or was that the next day? I'm dickered.
I don't remember.
All right, so...
No, we did. We went to the Space Museum because we went and got coffee.
Yeah.
Went to the Space Museum, and then we went grocery shopping.
Grocery shopping, and then we went back to the park. Evidently, we had some time because it wasn't a huge trip from
Yeah, I think
El
it was
Paso to
only 100
Alamogordo.
miles.
It was only 100 miles or so, so we had some time. We, like she said, we went to the Space Museum in Alamogordo, so I'm going to put in some pictures of that. That was pretty cool. We went up 4 flights, large flights of stairs, and then you work your way down through the museum. One floor was not open because it was under maintenance. The elevator didn't work. It was a holiday, so holidays for us are usually red flags not to go to public places. Sometimes you can deal with a whole lot of kids at those kinds of places or crowds, and this was no exception. There was a bit of a crowd. It wasn't bad. We got in there, did the thing, got out, went to Walmart, got a few groceries and some odds and ends, got an iced coffee, headed to the campground. And first experience you had with personnel at the New Mexico State Park was...
Yes. They're not very organized. I went in, to see if we could get a spot. But they didn't really know if they had what they had for spots, so they didn't know what was already taken. So pretty much we were just able to go drive around, find a spot that clearly didn't have a tag on it, or there was no vehicle there.
Right.
So we got to go pick what we wanted, which we were able to do. But they just didn't seem to really know what was going on there.
Right. And that spot turned out to be a pretty decent spot. It had a nice view of, now what were they? Were they the Sacramento Mountains?
Yes.
Sacramento Mountain Range. We were able to, we liked the spot, but we sometimes go into a spot with the truck and trailer attached, and it doesn't always work. If you start leveling the truck and then the trailer's attached to the truck, then the trailer becomes out of level, etc. So we detached the trailer and the truck and made it work really nice, so we could use the kitchen yet still have the truck level and in a different position in relation to the trailer. So that worked out good.
And it really reminded me of being at Big Bend.
It did.
I mean, we were in the desert, the mountains behind us. It really had a feel of just being at Big Bend.
With a big advantage.
That we had some hiking trails there.
Yeah, you had hiking trails. You didn't have a barking dog.
Oh, the joys of this house sit.
Yeah. Anyway, we had hiking trails, showers, a weird shower system we'll talk about. But the hiking trails were right there.
Yeah, the hiking trails were nice.
Yeah, I did the canyon more than once, and we can talk about that. So, not too crowded, not noisy.
No, not at all.
Windy, though.
Yeah, it's always windy.
Windier and crazy. But again, it's still in that Chihuahuan desert atmosphere. we took a day and we went to White Sands
White-
National Park, which was,
That was-
great.
That was cool.
That was really
Better
cool.
than I anticipated.
Right. We did the Space Museum. We didn't get, oh, and we did visit for the first time. We did some investigating of camping
National
in the
Forest.
National Forest. So we went to the National Forest District headquarters for Lincoln National Forest. Or is it Lincoln Memorial National?
No, it's just
Lincoln
Lincoln
National
National
Forest
Forest.
in Alamogordo. And boy, talk about super nice. So
Yeah, they were
very,
awesome.
very nice to see the National Park office. The lady, I wish I had taken some photos of her or a video of it. Just super, super helpful about where we could go and camp for free and what places we could see what wildlife and things like
Yeah,
that.
she was very helpful. And the maps, I mean, they have a whole different set of maps that you
Yeah,
get from them
Yep. So that
to
was
find
nice.
spots.
Right.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be something that we're going to be doing, I think, a lot more of.
Yes.
Now that we know about it, we know about these offices to go into and talk to the rangers there, because they're the ones that are going to give us the best information about where we should go
If we can go there.
and if we can go into these places and camp. And this national forest there in Lincoln, she said you can camp anywhere.
Anywhere you can drive off the road is the only thing they ask is don't park on a trail.
Yep.
And just go by all the regulations. If there's a burn ban in effect, don't have a fire. If,
Right.
you
Pack
know,
in, pack out,
pack in, pack out. No firearms. You can have a firearm, you just can't use it
unless you need to.
unless you need to. We did talk about that a little bit, but gave us some nice maps, and then we learned the system a little bit, and that's the same system that we can utilize throughout the nation, not just in New Mexico, because it's a federal deal. It's not just a
Right.
state deal.
So the national forests are different than the national parks. It's
Right.
not. It's
Right.
two totally separate entities.
So we hiked a couple of different trails. The park itself at Oliver Lee was kind of interesting in an historical sense as to how it came to be. It wasn't really a CCC type park. It was more land that was donated to the state of New Mexico years ago. There was a cabin on the park called Frenchie's Cabin, and I'll put a link down below about all of the history on that. It's too much to go into, but it's very interesting. And Oliver Lee, who was a rancher nearby, whose family, I guess, ended up donating all the land that had Frenchie's Cabin on it. And the story of those two, it's sort of controversial as to how it all came to be. But we hiked up a cabin. I took one day and hiked up even further in the canyon, further than the trail markers were. Really got a good stretching out of my legs. Probably a couple times there I thought I was going to be in a little bit of trouble, but very cool how you can go from a desert situation up through the canyon and see things that you shouldn't even see in the desert. One thing being cattails.
Oh, right.
I
yeah.
came over a rock, and as I'm going farther up this canyon where there's more and more water, or not more and more water, same amount of water, just different pools, etc. And here's this big, it's a 50-foot stretch of cattails. Didn't see it before, didn't see it after, just right there. And not cattails that I'm used to seeing at home, but not knowing the names of them, I couldn't tell you what they were. But not a lot of bird activity in the canyon, more activity around on the site itself. But interesting stuff done the same. But we had a good time there. It was nice. And then, but we did Waco and we did Oliver Lee as a way to set ourselves up for coming here where we are now in New Mexico to do a house sit. And we're going to have a video on our initial feelings of the house sit, and perhaps a follow-up video too, because it hasn't been a great experience. So, anything else you want to say about the Alamogordo State Park?
No, I mean, it was our first New Mexico State Park. It was okay.
Yeah,
It was not.
wasn't
Yeah.
horrible, but it wasn't great.
Wasn't like
One
one
of
of
the-
my favorites.
One of
at all.
a couple of things I forgot to touch on was each state park, and it could be all over the country. State parks sometimes have hosts, which are people that come in and volunteer in exchange for being able to park there for, say, a month at a time. They lend their services of maybe 30 hours a week, doing things like picking up garbage, helping out, doing whatever needs to be done. And when you go by their sites, they usually have camp hosts, it might be the Fullers, and then there's, an on or off duty thing there. Well,
This one was always off duty.
the whole time we were there, they were always off duty. So you couldn't ask anybody any questions after 4 o'clock if they were off duty and there was no personnel, and that was a little bit frustrating.
It just was, I don't know. Not really feeling the love right now in New Mexico.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, people aren't as friendly. I don't know. You kind of got used to being in Texas for a month or two. Just the overall friendliness of people. That I'm not really feeling it here in New Mexico.
Yeah, it's different.
It's a whole different vibe, whole different feel of.
Yep. I'm not sure. It's very difficult for us to talk right now because of the house that we're at. But she's spot on that it almost seems the minute you cross the Texas border into New Mexico, it was almost like, I don't mean this in an entirely insulting way, but I might as well be back in Amherst.
Okay, well,
you know what I mean, though? I mean, you get good people in Amherst too, but overall, when you go into a store and they just kind of, they're just like, yes sir, 3 bags full, move right along here. Whereas in Texas, like, hi, where are you from? How are you today? You have a good day. Have a nice day. This and that.
Just a lot friendlier.
And it's just a lot friendlier. Whereas one of the things I do want to reflect back on is when my wife decides she wants to go off trail, her Hawkeye-ness, she picks out an Indian grinding stone that's off the state park land that we take a picture of, and I take a longitude and a latitude on it in case it's a find. And it is a find because you can tell nobody's found this before because it's by itself.
Yep.
I bring it back to the office and I say to the lady, here, look what I found. Here's where it's at. Oh, it's not on park property? Cool. And that's it. There was like, here's a person you can call and tell them, or here's an organization that might be interested, or here's this.
Right.
This is a person that's been working in this environment for a while and just blows it off, just like I found a spitball underneath the desk at school.
I mean, say it.
Really, it's like, is that it? That's all there is to it? So, but whatever. Anyway, we moved on. We headed up. We were left, I don't remember what day. We left on a Thursday, Friday.
No, we left on a Saturday.
Heading up to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and laying over in a harvest host spot, which we'll go over at some point. Our next video, I think it's 16, vlog 16, we'll go over the departure. We'll do a quick summation of the house sit, not like we're going to do next, but leaving the house sit and heading to wherever we're heading because we don't know yet.
No, but we are planning it.
We are planning it, even if it's 12 days away, because we got something to shoot for, right?
Ready to go.
Ready to go right now, if we could. So anyways, till next time, make sure you subscribe, like the video, share it where you can, and don't forget to go to www.theturtleandthetiger.com to subscribe to our blog, and you can see even more stuff written there. All right, so next time, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.